thank you so much, Tina, for that wonderful introduction. And I'm really glad many of this, the introduction part she did, if I have to tell all that with my accent, it will take much longer. So that's great. You all heard about my accent issue. I'm taking a little bit of a, an advance parole here, just to make sure if you don't understand anything what I say, please raise your hand. I'm always ready to listen, stop, and make sure that you guys get 100% of what I say. This is very important. And thank you so much, Suzanne, for opening your beautiful home for this wonderful gathering here. This is really important. People, doing the voluntary work on the ground and bringing in candidates for such gatherings across the county is what is going to be our path to victory. And when I say our path to victory, I see these Republican women groups all over the county doing a phenomenal job in really helping on the ground. I don't know, how to thank them. They invite me for many events. I've already had maybe 15 speaking opportunities with women groups specifically, and that's been amazing. And that is what started my name to kind of come out in the Fairfax County Republican circles on the web in general. So thank you so much, the Republican women of Fairfax County, for doing this. And thank you, Tim, for coming here personally and giving that wonderful sentence about me, saying that I'm a great candidate. And I'm really privileged to have some equity with Tim on the head side. So, we are all talking about equity in Fairfax County school board meetings. When I hear, I'm always hearing equity. So I'm looking for some equity here. So he's pretty,
I don't understand what he's talking about.
No, I know. I may need another 6-inch to have equity in height, but that's okay. I have at least equity on the baldness. So, having said that, now jokes apart, I am in the county living for the last 21 years. My kids went through the Fairfax County school system from kindergarten all the way through high school. And I'm running because I saw during my life as a parent, there are so many things that can be made better by more parental rights, more parental involvement. Which I was thinking that when my first son was going through schools, I thought things were much better. 6 years apart, my kids were. So 6 years after, when my younger son goes to school, I see things have deteriorated significantly. And I see this when it comes to transparency, when it comes to textbooks, having something for the parents to supervise, when children come home, when everything is going online and they keep on talking about equity. That's why I bring this point up really first, in my list of things that I wanted to say. We both, and my wife is here, Asha, my big support. She's right now, we have done a very good job as parents when my elder son was going in school. He brings the textbook home, he put it on the kitchen countertop, and he's doing all the homework. We don't have to really get involved with homework, but we can track what he's doing. When my younger son comes, when he is getting into 7th, 8th grade, that's when we started losing the textbooks. And we have to understand, we are both IT professionals. We are working in computer field, always on laptops. Still we started fighting. Now, it's whose responsibility is this? To go into the system and check whether he has done the homework. And he says there is no homework. It's all, I'm saying this is true with 2 IT professionals, IT parents, always on the computer. Now, they wanted to bring equity into the system. So when they take the textbooks out, how they're going to deal with the parents who are not doing computers all the time, who are less literate on computers, who are construction workers. So they really talk these words just for the sake of having some good words out there. They really don't think it through. And as far as I am concerned, We need a school board to represent parents, to represent people, not just to rubber stamp everything that the county salaried management executives put up, or in front of them. That's what is happening right now. If you watch the school board meetings, they're asking questions, they're just saying, oh, okay, everything is okay. There is no critical analysis of how their proposals are affecting the children, what is happening to the parental rights, where are parents standing in various issues before making decisions for the children. So that is why I am running. This is very important. I'm a very community-minded person. I have some people from my community here who can vouch for that. I was very active doing some wonderful things in our Indian community. And always my focus has been children, the future. So I ask my community, my Indian community right now, and the Asian American community, who are voting for principles that are not representing them.
Exactly.
Did you come to this country just for you? Did you come to this country just for you and your wife? Then it is fine. Because in your lifetime, maybe things are going to be okay. But if what is going on in the schools continue, whatever you ran away from, whatever that attracted you to America, whatever that attracted you to become American citizens, that is in danger for your children and their children. So I am everything about future. And that is exactly why I am running, because we cannot just let it go. And how we are going to get there? Do you know the Asian American community? We are about 20% in Fairfax County. 19.6% to be exact. Yeah. And you know what percentage of them vote for the school board elections? In spite of them being heavily concerned about their kids' schools? 10%. Less than 10% of Asian Americans vote in these off-year elections. And when it comes to the Indian community, it's further less. So, if I can bring in about 15,000 voters from the Asian American community, who are coming there not as red or blue, but as people who care about their children, then we are going to win whoever candidate we put up there. Because it's common sense. Our agenda is pretty common sense. So that is my message that I am trying to drive here. And to get that, for the Asian American community, for the Hispanic community, heavily family-minded, family-oriented community, they really don't know what's going on. I talk to people, all the minority groups, Indian Americans, Hispanic groups, they don't understand this school board has so much power.
Yeah.
They think about this system as something that they came from. Say for example, I came from India, a state named Kerala. 33 million people live there in a land mass that is only 1/6 the size of Virginia. 33 million people live there. And the whole thing is controlled by the state. So people who come from those countries, they have an impression that everything that happens here is something that is coming from way up top somewhere, like some centrally controlled thing. They cannot change it. So when I tell them, no, we can change the curriculum. We can decide what the teachers are talking to our children, whether it is appropriate. They don't know. They think, it's not true. So I have to tell them, this school board decides everything that happens in your school. And that's a message that I am taking to the minority groups, the minority communities. And that is actually an eye-opener for them. Now they're thinking, oh really? So we can make a difference. So if you are there, then things will be different. It's not just for your political office. Absolutely, I am not here for any name or fame. I am here because I care about the future of this country that I decided to call home. And they keep on talking about the STEM deficit in Fairfax County and the rest of Virginia. And Asian American students, if you look at the statistics, Arthur is not here, my numbers guy. No, if you look at the numbers, the Asian American kids are doing great in STEM, science, technology, engineering, math, or Indians, Chinese, Vietnamese, Korean, all of them. How is this possible? You are thinking, these guys have something special about math or engineering? Absolutely not. We supplement this education outside. We are doing great in STEM, not because of Fairfax County schools, but in spite of it. Every Asian American person I know send their children to some supplemental programs after school. And that industry has become such a big industry in Fairfax County and rest of Northern Virginia. You know, both my kids went to this Kumon program, the Japanese math program. And you know how they teach the math there? That's the way math should be taught. Very rigorous, repetitive learning of fundamental facts. And that is what is lacking in Fairfax County. The consequential learning that we try to do, it's not good for elementary school level children for them to become better in science, technology, engineering and math. We have to have more strong fundamentals in math. And that can come only with some old school conservative thinking. And I was thinking that America was always like this. I met a supporter of mine recently. She is a big education enthusiast, lives in McLean. And she showed me some of the, she has a lot of documents from her grandparent time. So she showed me some graduation stuff from the 1940s and 50s in California. And they have the same mentality, the same mindset at that time. We lost it. And that's what we had to bring it back. So I am running with a very specific agenda to make things better. And for that, we need to be winning not just my seat. We need a majority there so that these things can be changed. So team mentioned about it. We are running as a team. We have pretty much a common agenda that we have finalized on. We are still working on it. So I want all of you to do everything you can to take this message out to your communities, wherever you live, our cards. And I have a special request for Republican women. Just like you are doing already, make sure that you talk to at least 10, 20 people about this event today. I met this guy, yes, his accent is a little bit of a trouble. But I think this guy means good for our future, for our children. And I think if you send this guy, hopefully he's going to be able to change some things. And he is not a young, budding politician who is considering the school board as his entry point to politics. And that's what is happening. A lot of these school board members that we have currently, they get on there when they are in their 20s. I don't have a problem, I'm not discriminating based on age, but they don't know what parents' rights are. They don't know what they're supposed to be thinking about when they're suggesting policies. I'm especially concerned about one thing that recently happened. Last week, one of the school board members, the current school board members, he also has some equity on the head side, like me. Ryan McElwee. Yeah. Well, he's white and brown, but the guy suggested he's going to give 1 day of protest to all children from age 7th grade to 12th grade. 1 day of protest. They can go to DC, they can go to Richmond, they can go wherever they want. They don't need anybody's permission, they don't need nothing. And I come from a place where I see this socialism crap. You know, Kerala, definitely we have so many fuss, in the world, but Kerala is the first place in the world where communists came to power through elections. See, when they took control of things in Russia and China, that was through violent, bloody revolutions. But India, they tried a very deceptive way. That they contested in elections, they got in power, and they started pushing their agenda. And I see that very deceptive mechanism in play in America right now.
Yeah.
So if it is a direct confrontation, we can deal with it. It's in front of you, but this is coming from the back. So I want you to be understanding this proposal of this guy. This 1 day will soon become 1 week. And then 1 week will become whenever the students want. And then the political parties will have units in these schools. This is what I have faced in my, in my classrooms in India. Then you have to fight to sit in the class when sometimes the strike comes. in Gulab, Sindaba. You know, this is, you know, I have Saji from here. You know, he's from the same place. And this is our kind of slogan we always used to grow up with. So the kids are now waiting for hearing this noise coming from the gate so that they can run. Because there is no class. They come and they say that there is no class, it's all dismissed. And that is what this strike culture, this protest culture, this mob culture is going to take you to. We have to stop it right now. Kids go to K-12 education to learn the fundamentals, math, English, science, history. Again, when it comes to history, that's another big point that I'm trying to push. You know, my kids are pretty smart. You heard, you know, they went to UVA and all that. And when it comes to science and technology, they are smarter than me, even though I have 2 degrees. They're smarter than me. But I'm sitting in front of, with them, watching TV, and when some kind of a discussion about history comes up, they're so poor in their American history knowledge. It is a shame that an immigrant who came here when he was 26 years old knows more about American history than very smart children who are born and raised in Fairfax County. We have to change that. And the danger is, it's growing, because if you look at the population growth, it is not the native population growth that you see in Fairfax County. It's immigrants. New immigrants are coming. So if it is native population growth, they get some history from their homes at least. Because their parents, their grandparents served in the military. But with these new immigrants, they don't know anything about American history. They don't know who George Washington was. They only know that he owned slaves. When they talk about Thomas Jefferson, you know, a lot of Indian Americans have told me, yeah, he's also too nice, he owned slaves. That's all they know about him. So, if we have a very consistent history education, starting from kindergarten, going all the way to 12, incrementally, mandate, not an option, that is going to change that. That's going to make sure that the kids grow up as Americans. Because history learning is what makes you a patriotic citizen. If you don't have it, you lose it. We are not the world, we are a country. And I believe in borders, I believe in country. So how can you make sure that the kids who grow up here grow up with the same spirit, the same patriotic spirit? Only by teaching them this country's history. So I'm a big proponent of that. I know it's taking too long. I don't want to make it a boring speech. So I want you to now go to my website. I have most of these things on my website. That is www.Vincent for School Board. Again, V for victory. And we are not going to win. Not just Vincent, we are going to win the county, the school board. And you can, if you can, please sign up for volunteering. You can do it online, on the site. If you can send me your information. I have my cards down, and I have as much as you want in my car. So if you can take some of the cards for your neighbors, for your friends, for your community, that will be very useful. And again, coming to the final point, the contributions. I need those checks because we have a lot of need. This is a school board that is one of the largest, one of the real big counties in the country. 1.2 million people. Almost 740,000 registered voters. About 20% of it. About 150,000 people, Asian American. How much of them voting right now? Less than 15,000. I wanted to grow into these communities, the Hispanic communities, the Asian American communities, to tell them, to motivate them to come out and vote. These are not the votes that was there in Ballotopedia from last year. I'm talking about new votes. And what it takes, a lot of publicity effort. And even social media is expensive. I started putting social media ads in Facebook, $30, $50, $100. It just goes very fast. But it's working. So please write your checks, Vincent for School Board, and I will really appreciate this joint effort. We have to take this county back, and I am seeing this as a role model victory. If Fairfax County can make this happen, this can resonate further than Fairfax County.
Absolutely. Yeah.
We need to make sure this local politics is taken seriously and people are being drafted at the local level so that that goes to the top. So thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for your generosity, for your help. Again, Susan, wonderful event. Really appreciate it. Thank you.